Most early stage activewear founders think that they need a massive budget to be legit. But the truth is, there are simple levers that you can pull today as an activewear brand owner so that when people look at you from the outside in, it looks like you actually know what you're doing. And this is tremendously impactful towards your customer experience. When a customer looks at you for the first time, they're making a judgment. Is this a brand that I can trust or is it not? And if you look like an amateur, if you're performing like an amateur, no matter what scale, no matter what size, you're going to lose the trust of your customers. So on today's episode, we're going to be running through the easiest levers that you can pull to create a phenomenal customer experience so that customers come back time and time again. And when they compare you to some of the established brands out there, it feels like you're playing in a league of your own. So without further ado, let's get right into it. My name is Shadi. I am the founder of FittDesign, the world's first sportswear fashion design agency, and we work with brands from all over the world to help them design and develop activewear. So if you want to go from an idea to a physical sample in under 30 days, you can check the link in the description. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Number one is with your product. Start simple and go for flawless execution. So what does this mean? You ultimately do not need to have every single product in your catalog. You need to just have 1 to 3 core products that you know that you can do phenomenally well, that you can bring your own special twist to. Pick products that are best sellers. Launch with these products and perfect them. Stick to timeless silhouettes. Things like if you're an activewear brand for men, men's performance t-shirts, short sleeves, performance shorts, joggers. If you're a woman, leggings, sports bras, jackets, things that you know have proven demand. But where you are going to excel away from the competition is going to be in picking your fabrics correctly, making sure that the fabric performs as intended. If you're going for a yoga legging, making sure that you don't have too much compression in your garment and making sure that the garment itself can wick away moisture, it can avoid camel toe, it can lack shear. All of these things are core. You would be surprised as to how many mistakes beginner brands make. You also need to perfect your fit, not only your core base size fit, but all of your fits, your extra small, small, medium, large. That's why having a proper technical drawing, a technical sheet that has all the measurements laid out for a base size is essential. But even more than that is figuring out your grading. What and how do your measurements change between sizes? 65% of repeat customers ultimately size consistent fit as to why they come back to a brand time and time again. Because think about it this way. If every single time you purchase from your favorite brand, the same type of product fits differently, you're going to immediately lose trust. Second is a consistent visual identity. You would be surprised, even with some of the larger brands, how inconsistent their brand identity can be. You need to treat each and every single channel, each and every single piece of content, piece of brand that you put out as a touch point for your customer. And it's essential to have a consistency across all those touch points, which means invest in consistent high quality photography across your website. We don't want some photos to have weird color correction and we want some other photos to look super high quality and studio shot because you spent the budget on them. I'd rather have everything be consistent from the ground up. Second, make sure when you're creating your brand identity, your palette, that you have a consistency in your brand tone. If you're all about eco-friendliness and all of a sudden you're launching a campaign where you have a aggressive tonality to the captions you're using, to the campaign, to the look of the website, yes, you can do that, but that creates a mismanagement in terms of how people perceive your brand. And if people are consistently getting different impressions of your brand, they will lose trust. Keep your fonts, keep your layouts, keep the voice aligned across your website, across your Instagram, across your packaging, across the product itself. Don't use a font for your slogan that is one way on your product and then another way on your packaging. Make sure you have a unified brand guide that you can share with your influencers, with the people that you're working with on your identity, on your packaging. This is essential. And lastly, always recommend create your customer avatar and then speak to that customer avatar with confidence, clarity, and intention, which means if you know your customer is a mid-30s mom, then the way that you speak to that person is going to be vastly different than an early 20s Gen Z. So make sure that your tonality, the communication, the pain points that you're hitting are what that person will speak about. So realistically, having a consistent identity throughout your entire experience can boost your bottom line by 33% simply by creating customer trust, encouraging word of mouth, and getting customers to come back time and time again. Next up is customer experience, and it simply comes down to outperforming bigger brands by being faster and keeping up with them. This is where really small brands can have a huge advantage. You're just much more nimble than a brand that has 50, 100, 200 employees in there, where every single decision needs to go through layers and layers of bureaucracy. So make sure when it comes to customer experience, you're responding to customer inquiries within 24 hours. Make sure that you're being proactive, giving them updates on their shipping, where their product is at, when it's going to be shipped, when it's going to be delivered. If there's any issues, being transparent with them. Add touches of your personal input into the brand through handwritten notes, maybe SMSs, messages that show that you really care and you understand that the customer is an individual, not just another number. And make your return process clear. Make the FAQs super transparent on your website. The biggest breaker towards trust is a lack of transparency and lack of clarity. If customers can sense that they cannot rely on you to keep your word, or even that your word is not clear, then they're not going to give you their money, especially as a first-time purchase. And ultimately, you do not need to be a large company to create a phenomenal customer experience. It just comes down to speed, response, clarity, integrity. Next up is you build systems and structures, which means that you build a back end to your business early in the process. And you don't need to build the craziest backend, but you just look at where things could potentially break in the future, and you build the systems today. That way, when you do scale, when you do get the volume, you don't end up with thousands and thousands of angry customer reviews because you didn't ship on time, because you got the wrong order, because you got the wrong size, or because you misspelled their name. All of these things can be avoided simply by having proper shipping. So when it comes to shipping, make sure that you sign up with a quality third-party logistics company if you're not doing your own fulfillment. If you are, make sure you invest into understanding what that process looks like, using SKUs, barcoding systems to properly tag and to inventory your products. Make sure if you're using Shopify, use Ship Hero to be able to manage your inventory correctly. And when you get an order, it's able to manage on the back end. The last thing that you want to do is sell out of product, accept people's orders and accept their payment, and then find that you don't have the inventory to fulfill it. It's not just about refunding the customer to make it right. It's about avoiding that issue altogether, especially as a startup brand. If you get these basics incorrect, you will lose the trust of your customers immediately. I recommend as well, automate your customer flows, whether you're using Klaviyo, whether you're using something like a Zapier system to be able to make sure if a customer has a query that you're answering them immediately. If a customer has an abandoned basket, that you're using proper methods to follow up with the customer, to see what the issue was, and to be able to capture those unique moments in time where others might not have these systems and may not be able to capture them. So it ultimately comes down to building a professional structure at a stage where others would completely be ignoring it and would simply be doing what an amateur does. Next up is own your positioning, which means find a lane and stick to it and continuously speak with clarity. When your brand tries to be everything to everyone, it ends up being nothing to no one. So what you need to do is you need to know who you are, who you're serving, what problem you're solving, who your core customer is, and ultimately drive your product decisions, your brand decisions, your company decisions towards that customer avatar. If you look at the early stages of Lululemon, and I use this example very commonly, they looked at the Supergirl customer avatar and identified what does this person need? What does she need in her day-to-day life? They identified core touch points that the Supergirl avatar would need on her day-to-day, and they ended up building what we know today as the quintessential legging around those touch points of no front rise, thicker fabric for lack of shear, comfortable fabric that shapes and smooths out the skin. All of these things were focused because of the customer avatar that was deeply understood through and through. If you look at Bandit Running, they own the running category. If you look at Gymshark, they own the gym category. We Do Gym is one of the biggest ways to showcase when we know something, we stick to it. And ultimately, Buff Bunny has only and ever been a feminine activewear brand because that's their lane and that's what they do better than anyone else. So if you want to own your own lane and you want to develop a brand that feels unique and that serves the customer better than anyone else, you can check the link in the description and you can apply to work with us and get a quote on what it takes to take your idea to a physical product in under 30 days. So you can check the link in the description. And without further ado, basically understanding that the way that you get ahead of 99% of competition is you build a product with focus and intent. You show up consistently across all of your channels, not just one channel or two channels. If you're on Snapchat, on your Instagram, if you're on email, everything has a consistency and a polish to it. You treat every single customer interaction like the person behind the screen actually matters, and ultimately you execute faster and you put the systems in place. That way when you scale, you do not break anything. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, please consider smashing a massive thumbs up. It really does help us out. It keeps us motivated to keep pumping out this content for you. And I say this from the very bottom of my heart. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.